your standard is your floor. It's not your ceiling. And so it's the least that you're going to accept. And so whenever we reach something, we want to elevate it and make it better, right? So,
hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Talk of Elevation, the podcast where we sit down with athlete coaches and leaders who are making an impact in sports and their communities. Today, we're joined by Coach Waymond Jackson II, head football coach at Air Academy High School. Coach Jackson brings experience from the highest levels of football. Today, he's focused on building culture of excellence, leadership, and accountability while developing young men both on and off the field. Coach, welcome to the Talk Elevation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about your journey and what got you into coaching.
So I started out in college at the University of South Carolina. Knew in high school I wasn't going to play anymore. So I joined the staff as an equipment manager. And then I worked my way up into a student coach. From there, I became a graduate assistant. At the time, it was a good time to be at South Carolina. We had head coach Steve Spurrier there. Back-to-back 11-win seasons, most wins in school history. So it was a great time to be there. And then from there, kind of went to high school for a little while, and then back into college, and then now back in high school again. So
you're just kind of bouncing back all over the place.
Yep.
So what was it like working with Coach Superior there?
Coach Spurrier was awesome. I mean, I grew up a Georgia fan, so when he was in Florida, there was a lot of love-hate there. But once I got to know him as a person and work for him, it was an amazing experience. Awesome person to work for. Probably one of the best bosses I've ever had. So
yeah, that's an incredible time. So your mission is to elevate the standard. What does it mean to you, and how did that philosophy develop?
Yeah, so elevate the standard. We have a saying at our place is be the best at getting better, right? And so that's part of our standard is Kaizen, continuous improvement. And so I feel like I learned from my mentor that your standard is your floor. It's not your ceiling. And so it's the least that you're going to accept. And so whenever we reach something, we want to elevate it and make it better, right? And so, when I first got here, one of our goals is making the playoffs, all right? And so now that's their standard. We make the playoffs, and now we're going to elevate that. Now let's go to the second round. So whatever it is that we're doing, community, at the school, we want to make sure we set the standard, and then we elevate it and continue to elevate it so that we're continually getting better.
Absolutely. I love that. What's made you stick around becoming a coach and developing these young men?
The young man, I get joy. I get joy out of developing them, helping them reach their goals, reaching their full potential. I tell them all the time, like, I don't care if you don't want to play football at the next level, but whatever it is that you want to do, we want to be able to help you, set you up for success in that. Whether it's teaching you leadership skills, it's teaching you how to work as a team, whatever characteristics we may be able to give you to help you be successful in life. That's what we want to do. So.
Absolutely. What makes your approach to coaching different from any others in today's game?
I think I take the approach of it's not transactional, but it's transformational. So being able to see the kid as the whole kid, not just as a football player, but is this kid struggling with something at home, or what is his academics like? So, we have an academic coordinator on our staff. We have a character coach on our staff so that we are able to approach those different aspects of their lives and not just football.
That's awesome. What do you think separates a good coach from a great coach?
Oh, that's a good question. I think being able to see beyond X's and O's. There's good coaches that know the game and are able to teach the game and scheme the game up, but being able to see beyond X's and O's and being able to touch each individual. I think one thing I learned from Coach Spurrier was that you have to coach each individual different. They're not all the same. And so what motivates one might not motivate the other. And so being able to do that, and I look at Coach Spurrier as a great coach. So being able to do that, I think it separates the great ones from the good ones.
Absolutely. Seems like you've learned a lot from him and from others as well.
I have. I try to take something from everybody I've worked with. So
that's a good way to look at it. So like you said, you've helped Air Academy to back-to-back playoff appearances. What do you believe has been the biggest factors behind the scenes?
Scheduling. No, all jokes aside, just the way the kids have approached it, the things that we've expected from our kids, and all season workouts, and then just taking it one game at a time. Like we have a saying, it's the most important game because it's the next game, not because of the opponent, but because it's the next game. And so being able to take it 1 week at a time, one game at a time, and our kids understand that approach, and then keeping things consistent with them. Try not to change up too much, trying to keep things consistent. So now they're developing as well in the systems that we've created.
Absolutely. So beyond wins and losses, what impact are you most proud of seeing in your athletes?
The brotherhood that we've created, and the community, connecting the KDAC community. I think once when I got here, that was one of the things that was glaring to me is how disconnected all of the sports were, and we
Mm,
weren't really unified as far as supporting one another. And so being able to connect not only the athletes but also the parents. We do a parent social once a month now. Started out with just football parents, 14 people, and now it's grown to over 50, where we've got football parents, we have cheerleading parents. We're starting to pull in the fall. We're going to start hopefully pulling softball and volleyball parents. So just connecting that community and then also connecting our athletes together. We just last week went to main event and had a team bonding activity with arcades and laser tag. So doing little events off the field to connect them and
mm.
create that brotherhood and that family environment.
Before we move on, let's talk about something every serious athlete needs to pay attention to: your digital footprint. Fanday Nation has just released a powerful new tool to help athletes make sure their social media profiles are fully optimized and recruit ready. Today, coaches aren't just evaluating game film, they're evaluating character, leadership, and maturity online. This resource gives you a step-by-step roadmap to clean up your profiles, highlight your strengths, and avoid common mistakes that can cost opportunities. If playing at the next level is your goal, don't leave your online presence to chance. Go check it out now at fandaynation.com. That's awesome. That's so important to build a community, especially in a team aspect.
Yeah, for sure.
So you believe sports are one of the greatest teachers of character. Why do you think that is, and why is that overlooked in today's world?
I think I'm going to answer your second question first and then go back to the first one.
Perfect. Go for it.
If you don't mind. So I think it's overlooked now, especially in public education, is, we have a lot of people making decisions that either weren't athletes or making decisions based off of policies. And so I think, it's funny this year sitting in rooms where we're trying to figure out why kids aren't coming to school. Well, a lot of times sports are the main motivator for kids to go to school. I know when I was in school, I didn't like school. I was good at school. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
Right. And then coaches are making that connection with those kids, right, in their personal lives and off the field. So a kid is more inclined to come to school when they have that connection with an individual. Well, when you're not hiring coaches in schools and when you're not putting a lot into athletics, it makes it hard for them to be motivated.
Mm.
And I think just football in itself is hard. Talking about elevating the standard, one of our standards is toughness, embrace hard, is what we say. And so it teaches you how to handle adversity, right? It teaches you that everything's not going to go your way. You have to work for things. You have to earn them. Like, it's not going to be given to you. So I think that within itself helps build character in individuals, and especially individuals that never had to deal with adversity up until high school football, right? Or never had to work for something in their lives, right? And so once they work for it, they earn it and they understand and then they appreciate it. And that helps develop that character a little bit more. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just think sports is so important, especially for young kids. Even if you're not going to go anywhere, it just builds so much character.
It does.
So what are some of the biggest challenges you think athletes are facing today?
Yeah. So, number one, social media and just everybody having the ability to post right away, right? Or to say how they feel about your game or what, but when I grew up, we didn't have that distraction. We didn't have that type of letdown, I should say, for some of these athletes. And so within itself, having to compare yourself when you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at other kids' highlights on social media and when you're clicking and scrolling through and you're seeing those different things, didn't have to deal with that in our time, right? We compared ourselves to our teammates. We compared ourselves to people in our local town, where now they're kind of comparing globally, right, or
Mm-hmm.
nationally. And so I think that within itself is a challenge. And having to go to school and relive some of those things that are happening on social media is also a challenge. And then getting outside of Colorado and then getting into some of these bigger states, right? The NIL situation and how to manage money. Um, and being an 18-year-old getting millions of dollars, that's hard, right? When you
Right.
don't know how to manage it or have anybody in your corner that knows how to manage it, that's very difficult. So I think there's a lot of things that are trending in sports that are good, but it also we got to also think of the athlete and make sure that they're okay with some of these trends that are taking place.
Yeah. How is that just relating to the recruitment world today and trying to get yourself out there? Because there is so many people online now that how are you supposed to be seen?
Right. And that's another thing. Like, kids are hiring agents, right? In high school. But like branded, they have to brand themselves. You have to have a social media, you have to have a Twitter, and you have to go out and you have to brand yourself, and kind of market yourself, which is another thing that teenagers don't know, right away when you're 16, 17 years old. So having someone in your corner, I encourage parents all the time, like, the recruiting game has changed so much. They're not the D1s and the Power Five schools aren't coming out and getting kids out of high school like they used to. Like, you got to be really good. So, you got to be realistic of where you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, come out of high school, and then understand that you're going there to set yourself up to still chase that dream if it is to go D1 or Power Five. But how do you position yourself to get there, right? And there's a different path that you take now than it was back in the day, and kind of looking at D2 like JV football, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
There you develop, you get film, you get some experience, and then you move up. And then the way JUCO is now, the years don't count. Why not go JUCO? So
Right, exactly. Why not just start there and then work your way up?
exactly.
So how do you build leadership, resilience, and accountability within a team culture?
I think it goes back to the standard. You got to set the standard. What is the standard? And for your leaders, we just had this conversation a week ago. Your leaders, you have to live up to the standard, right? You have to hold yourself up to the standard, and then once you are there, hold everybody else on the team accountable to that standard.
Mm-hmm.
And then resilience. We try to make practice hard. We try to make that difficult. We try to make our off season training hard. We do off season workouts at 6 a.m. because we know that's hard. Everybody's not doing that, right? And so trying to get our kids used to doing hard things,
Mm-hmm.
so that when we're in a game, not only are we doing hard things, but we're doing it together, so
Right.
that we're in a game. We know the person beside us wasn't just off doing their own thing. Like, no, we saw them sweating with us in the weight room, on the field, doing those sprints. And so now I know he has my back, I got his back, and I'm not giving up because I'm going to lay it all on the line for my brother. So
Absolutely. You've coached at so many different levels, D1, D2 in high school. What have you kind of kept with you throughout your whole coaching journey, and what have you learned from it?
good question. It still all boils down to the individual, to the player, and that's why we do it. That's what we're doing it for, is to develop that individual. And so I never want to lose focus of the guys that I'm coaching, in their best interest. It's hard, being an adult sometimes, and especially being as competitive as I am. We want to win. We want to win right now. We want to, hey, this is going to work, but is it in the best interest for our kids to go that fast? Is it in the best interest of our kids to install this scheme when they didn't understand the last scheme we installed? So, like, what's the best interest for them? And then also, like I was saying earlier, like, a lot of our kids in high school don't want to go to the next level. They don't want to play on the next level. So what are their interests? I have a lot of kids at Air Academy that want to be pilots. So how do I help them become pilots? Right? How do I use the game of football to help them in their pilot career? So always keeping the individual, the players first, and understanding that they are why we do what we do.
Absolutely. What was, when you first came to Air Academy, what kind of culture were you trying to build, and kind of what was your first step coming into this program?
I had to assess where the program was, right. Wasn't very successful before taking over, and so why was it that way?
Mm-hmm.
And so once I figured that out, like, trying to create a brotherhood, trying to create toughness, trying to create a belief within the players that they could win, that they could be successful, and then understanding what it took, and establishing those systems, those standards of, this is the standard, this is what it takes to be successful, and we're going to hold you to this standard. And then once we get you there, we're going to elevate it even more. So
Absolutely. When a coach comes through your program, what do they want to remember about you? Or when a player, sorry, not a coach, what do they want to remember about you as a coach? That's what I was trying to say.
I hope that they know that I have their best interests at heart, and that I made sure that they developed as a person, not just a player. And, we talk about three aspects of Air Academy: athletics, academics, and then also personal life, right? So we're trying to develop you in those three areas. And so if I can help develop you as an athlete, great. If I can make you the best player in the state of Colorado, great. But I also want to make you the best student at Air Academy High School. I want to make you, when you leave from us, that you're set up to be able to handle the mental load of life that's going to be thrown at you once you get into the real world.
For sure. So, one more question for you. Looking ahead, what is next for the program? What's your mission to elevate the standard continuing forward?
So again, we just want to continue to elevate our standards, and obviously championships are the goal. We want to be able to get to the level where we're competing for championships, but elevating the standard, one year at a time, one pinnacle at a time, because we understand that once we get there, there's another step. We are never satisfied. We're going to continue to elevate until we get to where we're trying to go, and that is to compete for championships. So.
Well, good luck to you, and we'll be watching you this season. Can you tell us where to find you online and where to look for you?
Yes, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Coach_W_Jackson. You can find me there. And also we have at KDEX Football on Instagram as well. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Coach. And this was the Talk Elevation.
thank you.